This film is a tribute, particularly to Sri Moropant Pingle, Dr. V.S. Kणकर, amongst countless others who travelled more than 4,000 kilometers and made this Saraswati River Shodh Abhiyan a reality.
सरस्वती जय सरिद्वरे सरस्वती अमृत में नदीत में देवित में सरस्वती जय सरिद्वरे सरस्वती जय सरिद्वरे.
Bearing down the ages to the Himalayas, spanning cultures, languages and encompassing ages was one singular river. A river that once throbbed and pulsated with a vitality of its own. Today, it flows right through the hearts and souls of all Bharatiya. This was Saraswati. Saraswati spawned on its banks a great civilization and the development of the Vedas. Nearly 10,000 years ago, when mighty rivers started flowing down the Himalayan slopes, western Rajasthan was green and fertile. Great civilizations prospered in the cool, amiable climate on riverbanks of northwestern India. The abundant waters of the rivers and copious rains provided ample sustenance for their farming and other activities. Some 6,000 years later, Saraswati, one of the rivers of great splendor in this region, for reasons long enigmatic, dwindled and dried up. Several other rivers shifted their courses. Some of their tributaries were pirated by neighboring rivers or severed from their main courses. The greenery of Rajasthan was lost, replaced by an arid desert where hot winds piled up dunes of sand. The flourishing civilizations vanished one by one. By geological standards, these are small-scale events, for Earth, in its long 4.5 billion years history, had witnessed many such changes, some of them even accompanied by wiping out of several living species. But those that occurred in northwest India took place within the span of early human history, affecting the livelihood of flourishing civilizations and driving them out to other regions. The nemesis that overtook northwestern India's plenty and prosperity, along with the disappearance of the river Saraswati, has been a subject engaging several minds over the last 150 years. However, convincing explanations about what caused all the changes were available only in the later half of the current century through data gathered by archaeologists, geologists, geophysicists and climatologists using a variety of techniques. Over the last 30 years, considerable volume of literature have grown on the subject, and in this article, some of the salient opinions expressed by various workers are presented. Rivers constitute the lifeline for any country, and some of the world's great civilizations like Indus Valley, Mesopotamian and Egyptian have all prospered on banks of river systems. Hindus consider rivers as sacred and have personified them as deities and sung their praises in their religious literature, the Vedas, Rigved, Yajurved and Atharved, Manusmriti, Puran and Mahabharat. These cite names of several rivers that existed during the Vedic period and had their origin in the Himalayas. One such river, Saraswati, has been glorified in these texts and referred by various names like Markand, Hakra, Suprabha, Kanchanakshi, Vishala, Manorama, etc. Mahabharat has exalted Saraswati river as covering the universe and having 7 separate names. Rigved describes it as one of the 7 major rivers of Vedic times, the others being Shatadru, that is Satlaj, Vipasha, that is Bias, Askini, that is Chenab, Parsoni or Airavati, that is Ravi, Vitasta, that is Jhelum, and Sindhu, that is Indus. For full 2000 years, between 6000 and 4000 BC, Saraswati had flowed as a great river before it was obliterated in a short span of geological time through a combination of destructive natural events. The river Saraswati, during its heydays, is described to be much bigger than Sindhu or the Indus River. During the Vedic period, this river had coursed through the region between modern Yamuna and Satlaj. Though Saraswati is lost, many of its contemporary rivers like Markand, Chautang and Ghaggar have outlived it and survive till today. According to geological and glaciological studies, Saraswati was supposed to have originated in Saraswati-Rupin Glacier confluence at Tटवर in western Garhwal. Descending through Adibadri, Bhavanipur and Balchapur in the foothills to the plains, the river took roughly a southwesterly course, passing through the plains of Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat, and finally it is believed to have debouched into the ancient Arabian Sea and the Great Rann of Kutch. In this long journey, Saraswati was believed to have had three tributaries: Shatadru, that is Satluj, arising from Mount Kailash, Drishadwati from Shivalik mountain, and the old Yamuna. The discovery of Saraswati river over a stretch of 1600 kilometers from the Himalayas to the Arabian Sea is the discovery of civilization of Bharat and the very foundations of the culture of 1 billion people of the world. It is also a discovery unparalleled in the saga of earth sciences, archaeology and literary studies. The projects led by Dr. V.S. Kणकर, a renowned Indian archaeologist, to revive the Saraswati river are also unprecedented in the history of human civilization. For nowhere else in the world has there been an occurrence of such magnitude. The desiccation of a mighty perennial river fed by the melting glaciers, which had left behind the ground truth of traces of river courses ranging from 4 to 8 kilometers in width. This is one instance when the rediscovery of the ancient history of a continent will be seen to be relevant to the children of today and tomorrow. By focusing on the hydrological and groundwater resources development projects in complex ecological zones ranging from troughs below foothills to semi-arid lands and marshy terrains. Saraswati river is adored in ecstatic terms in the Rig Veda as best of mothers, best of rivers and best of goddesses.
अर्ज हमारी हो जगदम्बे, अर्ज हमारी।
Even in the days of the Rig Veda, the river had attained the divine status, since on the banks of the river were nurtured hundreds of ancient Bronze Age settlements dated to over 5,000 years ago. The discovery of the ancient courses of the Saraswati river is the discovery of the millennium, and the date of desiccation of this great river is fundamental in providing a broad range of dates for the Rig Veda and for defining the riverine nature of the ancient Indian civilization. Rig Veda refers to the might of this river flowing from the mountain to the ocean and relates to a period when the river was in full flow. The desiccation of the river over an extended period of about 400 years, between 1900 to 1500 BC, is the central cause for the migration of the people eastward, northward and southward from the settlements on the banks of the Saraswati river, which had nourished the civilization from 3000 to 1700 BC. Which had nourished the civilization between 3000 to 1700 BC. The river also binds the Rigvedic culture and the Saraswati Sindhu civilization. Since the Saraswati river is the locus of over 1200 ancient archaeological settlements and Sapta Sindhu is the Rigvedic domain. At one time, the river flowed with immeasurable water with great speed, and at places it was about 8 to 10 kilometers wide. Is it not mysterious that all of a sudden the river vanished? How could it happen? How could we forget that on the river banks for centuries the aspirants and students from all over the world were imparted knowledge and education in all branches of human life? This river is not, therefore, merely a river for us. It is a branch and lifeline of our culture. More than 300 artifacts discovered in excavations near and around the fertile tracts of Saraswati reveal a culture full of vitality, the likes of which remained unparalleled anywhere in the world at that time. These artifacts also reveal the true extent of the penetration of a civilization amongst the people of Bharat and how it was this civilization that was sought to be emulated by others. For the first time in the history of Indian civilization, Saraswati River provides evidence for many different communities living together in an urban culture. The river, together with the Sindhu River, was the unifying link, providing for transport of people and material over thousands of kilometers. The great rivers, the Saraswati and the Sindhu, were the raison d'etre for the civilization, which was the most extensive civilization of an age, dated back to the beginning of Kali Yuga, that is, over 5,000 years before present. The purpose of the Saraswati River Research Project is to remind the world that we should know the history of our nation and to revive our self-respect. It is also an attempt to inculcate in the newer generations love and respect of a glorious culture. They should attempt to preserve it in the best of traditions. This Saraswati River Research Project was conducted from 19th November 1985 to 20th December 1985. This expedition generated immense response in terms of discovery, documentation and exploration. It is impossible to elaborate on the entire journey, but this film serves the purpose of an overview. From humble beginnings, this subject has attracted growing international attention, much like River Saraswati itself, whose expanse was small in the beginning but acquired massive proportion later on. Dr. S. Kalyan Raman is the convener of this project. This project is sure to generate interest and completely alter the very way in which Indian natural history is seen. Dr. S. Kalyan Raman from Chennai has penned a book, River Saraswati, of 7 volumes. The 7 volumes are Saraswati Civilization, Saraswati Rigved, Saraswati River, Saraswati Bharati, Saraswati Technology, Saraswati Language, Saraswati Epigraphs.
रुद्र कलश त्याग ओम अपानाय स्वाहा ओम व्यानाय स्वाहा ओम उदानाय स्वाहा ओम समानाय स्वाहा आराधिक्ये सर्वमंगल मांगल्ये शिवे